We just got the clear at about 2:15. This window is open now from 2:15 to 3:15 for us to come back and be in place half hour early before the First Lady arrives. So now's the time where we hurry up and wait.
And Amy, you know, this has got to be a big moment for the Cherokee Nation, as you mentioned, especially seeing as how language preservation has been such a topic for them. Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr., so important as this aging population of Cherokee Native language speakers are passing away. The Durbin Feeling Center, the Durbin Feeling Language Center. What a point of pride for Cherokee Nation, specifically about their language.
Sure, absolutely. And a little more background for you that I learned today. The Cherokee Immersion School has 108 students from grades 3rd grade, or pre-K, excuse me, they're 3 years old, pre-K through 8th grade. And they're set up, I'm told, by the Cherokee Nation. Everything is by the same state of Oklahoma curriculum standards, but everything is taught in Cherokee. So they speak Cherokee all day, they do their homework in Cherokee, and so it is really, truly all about preserving the Cherokee language.
Definitely, and it's so unique, Amy, because it's the first Oklahoma public school for this Cherokee language immersion. That was official in 2010, and again, this has been operating for 20 years now, so they are really trying to preserve this, going from 26 students when they were founded in 2001 to now having 100 student capacity 20 years later.
I wanted to ask too, Amy, about... Oh, go ahead.
Well, one interesting point of perspective the Cherokee Nation shared with me today was when you think about the 3-year-olds who started with the first class in 2001, they've now since graduated high school. So that's how, when you think about 20 years, that's...
All right, Amy, thank you very much. We have Dr. Jill Biden and Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland. We appreciate Amy from Tahlequah walking down the stairway here off of what looks to be, you know, the Air Force One, Air Force Two plane. It's a C-32, goes by Executive 1F call sign, and they're walking down side by side after having, by my time, about a 20-minute meeting with the First Lady of Oklahoma, Sarah Stitt, on her Hope Rising initiative, and now meeting the mayor of Tulsa.
Yep, right there. Landed about 2:08 this afternoon. We saw the First Lady of Oklahoma get on board there around 2:13. So that is finally wrapping up now after about 25 minutes or so. And like you mentioned, there is Dr. Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States, speaking with Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum at the airport. After this meeting concludes, which will be very brief, these are never long, she's going to get in a motorcade, travel to Tahlequah, where she is scheduled to be there at 3:45. So getting there right on schedule for her day ahead in Tahlequah, which, as Amy had just mentioned, she's there to look at the Cherokee Immersion School along with the Interior Secretary Deb Haaland and see all that is going on here in Oklahoma. By the way, Dave, I thought this was interesting. This is her first visit to Oklahoma as First Lady. I believe the last time she was in our state was March of 2020. She was campaigning for her husband, Joe Biden, who was then a candidate for president, but of course has since taken over that office.
And I do apologize. I may have to correct this. That in the white, that is Sarah Stitt, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That is Sarah Stitt in the white. Deb Haaland, I have not seen Secretary Deb Haaland. There she is on the right, and anybody can help me out here if you know. Okay, yes. So that is her on the right, Secretary Haaland on the right, and I apologize, Dr. Jill Biden in the middle, and then First Lady of Oklahoma, Sarah Stitt, on the left, with Mayor Bynum in the foreground of the shot. Of course, Secretary Haaland, a very proud Native American Pueblo of Laguna tribe. She says, you know, 35th generation New Mexican, so very, very proud of her heritage. So this is a moment for her to be able to go into Cherokee Nation. And Cherokee Nation within the tribal reservational boundaries. The Cherokee Nation says on their website, their official information, that they have 141,000 Cherokee Nation citizens just within tribal reservation boundaries in northeastern Oklahoma, 390,000 tribal citizens worldwide.
And now we see Dr. Jill Biden heading to the motorcade, getting inside right now, awaiting a long journey, the 1-hour drive to Tahlequah, where she is going to catch up, not one-on-one necessarily, with News on 6's Amy Slanchuk, who is there.
It'll be close to one-on-one with the students. There's only 10 to 11 of them. How lucky are they? Well, here we go. So we will, of course, keep you updated throughout the day. Whatever route she takes, we'll try to keep you updated just in terms of any traffic issues, but just be aware she is traveling to Tahlequah. You can go on the turnpike, you can go on Highway 412, but one of those ways will be kind of tough to deal with if you are behind that motorcade or near the motorcade, as is typical with executive branch visits. So a big day for Oklahoma and for the Cherokee Nation, getting to really show off their Cherokee language, their tribe, their language that they are working so hard to preserve, as the First Lady is getting ready to drive away with the Secretary of the Interior, Deb Haaland, inside this motorcade. They landed at 2:08. The First Lady had about a 20 or 23-ish minute meeting with First Lady Sarah Stitt. That meeting wrapped up aboard the plane. That meeting was on the plane, out of public view. The press had already exited, so that was a pretty, we understand, a private meeting between Sarah Stitt about her Hope Rising initiative and Dr. Jill Biden, and it looks like they're about ready to take off in this executive First Lady motorcade that will be heading to Tahlequah at the Cherokee Immersion School. There they go.
And they are off to Tahlequah right now. We are going to be covering her visit, but once she starts riding away, we're going to go off the air. But of course, we're going to update you in our later newscasts 4, 5, and 6, and I imagine potentially our 9 and 10 as well regarding her visit. We'll get an update later on from News on 6's Amy Slanchik, who is in Tahlequah.
For updates 24/7, you can also check out, for breaking news, our News on 6 app. Thank you for sticking with us here on this breaking news 2:40 on a Friday afternoon. The First Lady is off to Tahlequah to visit the Cherokee Immersion School. We will see you at 4.